Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph, and in Eden, all the pets are happy. It's not just humans that are happy. All the animals are happy too. So believe me, if you take to heart these tips for cheering up your pet and you apply them to your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they will definitely work. So first thing, loosen the collar, okay? There should be, it should hang, it should not choke. You got to be able to swallow, to eat, to breathe. That means whatever way you lay claim to each other, you allow it to be loose. Okay? Next thing, no cages, okay? Nobody puts each other in cages. As a matter of fact, if you need to have space from each other, you take space in different rooms. You can put your pet in another room. Go take some time to yourself, little pet, and give them company. Like a good bone to chew, or another another dog in there with them to have fun, so they think it's a reward. Don't cage each other as punishment. Don't take space from each other in order to, punish each other. Really, the need for space is normal, and it needs to be spacious, never a cage. Even when you're going to the vet, it doesn't have to be a cage. No, it really doesn't. I've taken my cats without cages to the vets. I have, actually. I actually had a mouse, and I realized the mouse was so depressed that I just opened the cage, I put the food in there, and the mouse let it have the house. The mouse had my whole house. And people are like, your mouse is going to get your food. Well, I don't. I feed it, so it doesn't need my food. They're like, well, you're going to lose it. I'm like, well, if the mouse is happier somewhere else, let the mouse go. Roam. It will be gone until it finds a family that's good and will be here as long as it wants to be. Think of that in terms of your beloved. Instead of trying to cage them to make them stay, allow the relationship to last for as long as it does with the natural rhythm of that freedom creates a joyous life where you come back to each other naturally. Number 3, a companion animal. All right, so there's a lot of marriages, in other countries where there's 2 women and 1 man, or 2 men and 3 men and 1 woman. Basically, the point is companionship and friendship, and everybody helping each other cook and do chores and raise kids. I'm not really a polygamous person myself, but I know when it comes to dogs, it's really good if you get them a companion animal or a cat. Because we tend to think, oh, I'm everything to the animal. They don't need anything else. And we think that about our boyfriend or girlfriend too. I'm everything. But we're not. And the more we allow our pet to have more friendships and relationships with others that are more like them, because in our the relationship of polarity is fascinating. You don't understand your pet, they don't really understand you, and you love each other because you're so different from each other. But the pet still needs to speak to somebody who's their own language. They need to have time that is just full-on relating with another. Now, this is the thing, especially if you're gone a lot and you don't realize all those hours when your pet is alone, especially if it's a stay-at-home husband and he's going crazy because the kids don't understand him yet. He's got to think to understand the kids all day, and he needs companionship. So don't worry when you get him a companion. Maybe you get a housemate in the house, or he gets special nights to go out and do his thing. You get your pet a companion. They're not going to stop bonding with you. You'll just have 2 animals that love you very much. Okay. Number 4, did I say learn their language? Okay, learning the language of the other. That means their language is different than yours, but it's obvious. And most people with their pets, all day long, they're saying, sit, no, good. And they talk to them like they're like really with without any intelligence, and the animal's like, I've been communicating with you all day and you don't understand a thing. This is true if you're woman and you're man. We have different languages, so we need to pay attention. How are the ears moving? What are the facial expression? What do those sounds mean? And when you learn their language and you respond to it, now there's all this respect. When you want them to listen to you and do what you ask, they're like, oh, we're in a relationship here. Learn the language of your pet. And remember, there's 5 love languages. For most people, have about 2 of them that are primary. Gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and I'll remember the other one later. I'm sorry. Oh, quality time. Yeah, those are our love languages right there. Now, no shouting, blaming, and shaming. So when you want your pet to come because you're worried about them and you're trying to protect them and they just won't do what you say and you don't understand, you're just trying to take care of them, and you start, get the heck over here! Why did you never know? The whole neighborhood hears it, the pet hears it, and you don't build actually the desire for them to follow what you're saying. They actually want to get away from you. So I know it seems obvious, but you hear all these pet owners doing this shouting thing and this really shaming, derogatory words too, as if they want to be understood, but then they act like they can just say anything. So by giving total encouragement, when you want them to come to you, make it rewarding. Make it so, because you're going to pet them, you're going to hug them, you're going to love them, you're going to give them a treat. Okay? The more we give each other treats for the things that we want and reward each other, the more likely it is we're going to want to serve each other's purposes. Okay? Good. Now, every creature has a sense of humor. Cats have a sense of humor. Dogs have a sense of humor. People have a sense of humor. And part of that is learning the sense of humor. How to play with the creature. How to tug a war or tickle their toes or take something and then give it and then take it and then give it. This kind of playfulness. I remember I had a lover once who all night long teased me erotically. All night long. It was so fun. And then, taking me to almost climax and then teasing me again and again and again, like all night. And I was just like, why don't guys do that more often? The power of the tease. The guys are so busy thinking, I want to get in there and get out. They never tease the woman until she's wild with desire and play with humor. So you definitely want to tease your pet and you want to play with them and get their sense of humor, because like dogs and cats, they have little smiles they make, their claws do certain things, and if you engage with their sense of humor, they're going to cheer up. Really, they're going to start playing with you and playing jokes on you. Okay, really, this is how intelligent animals are. We just act like they're not, and then we miss out. We have them in this boring life. We are so boring to them. They're like, they don't even have a sense of humor. All right, what else? Okay, freedom to run wild. All right, your beastie, your pet needs to get the leash off them. Let them go wild. Let them go dancing. Let them go, playing out all night long with their friends. Take your dog to the woods. Take the leash off. And the people are like, you don't understand. My dog is so crazy. He'll never come back. I keep a leash on him at all times. And when I'm at the bar, I'm watching who he's talking to. And I come right over if there's another woman. Okay, this is the way we are. But imagine your pet having a place and time every week to run wild in the forest, to just go roaming, and you're like, they didn't come back. Well, you had to wait a freaking 10 minutes, of poor you, while they had their 10 minutes of freedom. All right, they do come back in 10 minutes. They do. You're just freaking for the whole 10 minutes. So stop freaking and have a little fun yourself. Dance in the forest, throw some leaves, get under a pile of dirt, smell a tree, hug a tree, relax. And then when your creature knows that there's time to be free every week, oh, maybe every day, now you're starting to get into a life where the dog or the cat starts to love you. They don't just see you as a jailer. They start to see you as a being who loves them genuinely, and they can tell the difference. Believe me, when they're just being used and harvested because they're being kept inside their whole lives so that they're safe, and you can have them looking cute on your little couch, you know, that's vampirism. Most people are vampires on their pets. My pet gives me everything. Well, do you give everything to your pet? And then people do this in their relationships too. The guy or the girl is supposed to give them everything, cook for them all the time, give them sex all the time, or he's supposed to provide all her sense of self-worth and beauty and everything. Okay? Give some freedom, why don't you? Okay? Take some responsibility for yourself in that time when they're going wild, and they will come back. Okay? Now, a room, a cave, a corner of one's own. This is so wonderful. Of all these couples, they share a room and they have nowhere to just let it all hang out and let it down and go into their inner space. All these people with pets, they're like, get off the couch, get off the rug, get off. And the dogs is just like wandering around, where can I be okay here? And people do that with their spouses. It's just like, don't put your cup there, honey. Would you please move that computer off of there? That's the, you know, oh, you're going to make a ring on the, you know. So where is there a sense where the person, the creature, has space of their own and their own autonomy? They need a cave. Like if you have a guinea pig, give it a little cave to go into, or a mouse. It can't be exposed to the light all the time where it starts to cringe inside itself. And this is what humans do too. Without a space of our own, we start to have barbs. We start to create space by being mean to each other, okay? Get a love seat for the dog. It's its own love seat over there. And it can sprawl out and it can, you know, lick its balls. Give the guy space to do what he wants in the house in some places, and freaking respect her need for sanctuary. If she wants to have a beautiful room, always kept beautiful, let her have it. And if she wants to have her temple palace that's hers and not yours, and you have separate beds, it's a necessity to have space of one's own. Really, stop thinking that you don't need that, you creatures, you. Okay? Now, I'm on a rant here. Share your food. Share your people food. Dogs are pack animals. People are pack people. You know, have sacred time that's a meal all together. Put the dog food under the table. Share some of your human food with the dogs. Actually, you know, rice and vegetables, these are good for dogs. Have it to be a sacred time where you light candles and everybody holds hands and you're all together as a pack eating, okay? Don't just forage. Don't just have everybody off in their own corners and give some creatures of the house crap to eat, like out of a can, and others get decadent steak to eat in front of the other ones. That is mean to your dog. Sure, okay? That is mean to your bitch. All right, the best is for everybody. This is a really good way to be with your pet. Okay? Now, last thing, there should be a freedom door, a pet door. That means you can come and go whenever you want. You are not locked in. Okay, the pet, this way, there's no poop in the house. This way, when I've had a pet door for my cat, they never had to use a cat box in the house. And people are like, no, you don't understand. I'll never see my animal again. It won't get back, or it'll get hit by a car, or it will be eaten by a fish or cat. Okay, well, that may be true. But think about it. Do you want to have a life that is totally antiseptic and safe and controlled your whole life in a refrigerator box where your, quote, loving owner makes sure you never get out so that they can see you looking cute? Or do you want to have a passionate, full life connected with all of nature, and maybe it's a shorter life? Okay? Yeah, you do get hit by a car. Or you do get eaten by a fish or cat. Thank God that you had a life that you wanted to live, okay? So let's do that for each other. Let's make our lives worth living, okay? Instead of controlling so much in order to be safe that nobody wants to live anymore, all right? Take some risks, would you? With your pet. All right. Great. Love life, darling. I hope this was enlightening and darkening and enlightening, because you know we're starting to love the darkness. This is the time of the dark here, and it's a magic time of year when we all really start to feel the mystery unveiling. As we enter the darkness, our pupils get wider, and you start to see in the dark. Okay. Much love, darling. Love life. Subscribe to this channel. Okay.